Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 5858. I am Amish Cycle. Foreign news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, multiple deadly attacks spanning the globe. Students shot at an elite American university. The Jewish community turned Israel on the first night of Hanukkah, and Trump vows retaliation after American soldiers were killed in an attack in Syria. We begin at Brown University, where gunmen opened fire on students studying for final exams. School buildings locked down, students sheltering in place, piling up chairs and tables against doors. Hundreds of officers rushing to the scene. Police released of who they believe may be a person of interest, and tonight one man in his 20s is detained. Plus, the remarkable moment when a bystander heroically confronted one of the two, wrested a weapon from his head. Also, tonight blast Arctic air and the biggest December snowfall in New York City and Philadelphia. Syria, American sold Iowa and interpreter during ISIS. The moments after United Airlines jet lost power in one engine during takeoff in Virginia, the jet forced to dump fuel on its harrowing trip back to the airport. Plus, late word, a JetBlue plane narrowly avoided a collision with a U.S. military aircraft over the Great. ESPN reports the University of Michigan is now investigating its entire athletic department just days after firing its head football.
Sunday night, a deadly mass shooting targeting Australia's Jewish community. Two gunmen opened fire on Bondi Beach, while police calling it an anti-Semitic terrorist attack.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil.
What we're learning about the alleged gunman and the brave bystander who took them on. Also tonight, an Ontario family threatened and attacked by a notorious Indian gang.
He said, "You have to donate us $2 million."
The warning from Canada's Sikh community about an extortion epidemic. Flood-ravaged communities in BC brace for more heavy rain. Plus, defying expectations. An artist with a disability makes history with a prestigious award.
Global National.
Us from Australia is Joel Fernie, Executive Manager of the Australia-Israel Jewish Affairs Council. Joel, thanks for joining us. Obviously, it's terrible reading signs. So there was a letter that Benjamin Netanyahu pointed out that that Israel had told Australia, "Hey, this is a problem. Do something about it." In his letter, he read aloud. He kind of pointed that out. But were there other clear signs that something like this was going to happen, or was imminent?
Well, thank you very much. From the outset of this interview, not only was there 1, 2, 3, there was a plethora of warning signs ever since the massacre that occurred on October 7, 2023. The Australian Jewish community, like many other diaspora Jewish communities in the West, including the United States, Canada, the UK, France, and other countries, have been under a violent and increasingly siege mentality. Our way of life as Jewish people has been under attack since that day. And in Australia, the writing was on the wall no less than 48 hours after the events had occurred in Israel during the infiltration of Hamas terrorists killing 1,200 Israelis. No less than 48 hours, there was a protest out the steps of the Opera House in Sydney, which Annalise raised in her bit a couple of minutes ago. The writing was on the wall from that moment. The police were there in attendance. They watched. They let it go. And it was a sign to all of the closeted anti-Semites in Australia that now was the time to come out and vandalise our institutions, to burn our cars, to attack our leaders, to burn down our synagogues, to attack our schools. Increasingly violent, incrementally over time. The government finally acts and figures out that Iran is behind many of the attacks as well. But yes, the writing was on the wall, the warnings were all there, and unfortunately government failed to act appropriately.
Yeah, I'd say. Joel, we talked about this with Annalise as well, but I'm very curious about the immigration situation for countries associated with radical Islam. We know our president has become very serious about this and importing the problem into our country. But I'm wondering, do you think with this and the attacks that you referenced, do you think that Australia is going to say perhaps enough is enough and start looking at their immigration situation? Or how much do you think that comes into play here?
Well, there's no doubt that it comes into play. Our countries, our two wonderful countries, are very connected in our histories. And as you know, we fought valiantly alongside US soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. And due to those wars, we also incorporated a large number of refugees from those war-torn countries into our country, who have now been in Australia for close to a generation. And there is no doubt that in a post-COVID environment, and Annalise pointed to this as well, we were under significant lockdown for 2 years, where the immigration program was paused, and there has been record numbers of immigration since borders reopened in early of 2022. Now, the problem is not just bringing them.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.